Everton against Manchester United in a rerun of the FA Cup final. And doing the talking bits, Gordon Smith and Eamon Bannon. An emotional moment for Jim Jeffries, the centre of attention at Tynecastle today. But any tension around didn't seem to get to his players, who displayed plenty of attacking ideas. Everton won, Manchester United didn't at Wembley in May, and Joe Royle's team fancied more of the same. Portuguese player Isaias is one of the new imports in the English Premiership. He's been sent to Coventry. And one thing's certain about Leishman's Livingston: they'll never be dull. Our main match from the Premier Division today was Hearts Falkirk. Hearts just managed to slide away from relegation trouble last season. Falkirk surprised nearly everyone by finishing in the top half of the table. But what made the match really intriguing was the Jeffries factor. Jim left Brockville just a couple of days after announcing he was staying. He walked out the Tynecastle tunnel hoping the Falkirk fans would show some understanding. And now on to the game with commentator Jock Brown.
Craig Levein and Gary Mackay are missing from that Hearts lineup through injury. So Alan Lawrence returns to the starting lineup with Neil Berry replacing Levein in central defence. Jim Jeffries favours a 4-4-2 system, and that's how he's organised Hearts. Losing Gary Mackay from the sitter midfield role may mean Brian Hamilton adopting that linchpin role, allowing the remaining midfield men to attack as much as possible. Goalkeeper Tony Parks is suspended after being ordered off against Aberdeen, so the former Rangers keeper Neil Ingalls makes his full debut in goal. John Clark and Craig Napier make way for David Weir and Derek Ferguson. Ferguson will have the creative responsibility for Falkirk in midfield, with Mackenzie assuming the defensive duties in that area. Steve Kirk will support the front two of Johnston and MacDonald. Henry Smith at 39.5 is currently the oldest player on duty in the Premier Division, keeping Craig Nelson on the bench as he starts his 15th season at Tynecastle. Derek Ferguson returns to his old stomping ground at Tynecastle after a generally unhappy spell at Sunderland. This is the chance to kickstart a career which gained him international honours a few seasons ago. The referee is Jim McCluskey from Stewarton. He's just back from handling the Germany-Georgia international and heads for Portugal to take charge of Victoria Guimarães against Standard Liège in the UEFA Cup on Tuesday. A match of immense significance this early in the season for both sides. Hearts coming off that 1-1 draw against Motherwell a couple of weeks ago. But Falkirk having a difficult time, losing their first league match to Aberdeen, then going out of the Coca-Cola Cup to the same club. Hearts still in that competition, of course. So Neil Berry giving chase here, put under pressure by Colin MacDonald, and Henry Smith waits to make the clearance. So the first free kick to Hearts, which Gary Locke will take. Here's header. McGowan couldn't control it. Hearts have a chance to come forward again. Cohen controlling it well. This is Winnie with a cross. And Johnston using some trickery. A chance on there. And Lawrence has made it for Hearts. A very sharp finish indeed for Alan Lawrence. It's his first goal for his new club. Well played through there by Alan Johnston. There was slackness in the Falkirk defence, and Lawrence was very quick indeed. Well, this ball really should have been cleared. Played across there by David Winnie. Alan Johnston given time to control that, played into a gap, and Lawrence was onside as he broke from the line of Falkirk defenders. John Lambie, I'm sure, was very upset with the defending there. David Weir doing well with the headed clearance. Still the pressure remains on. Oh, elusive play by Lawrence again. Very sharp and very quick, and certainly causing trouble to that Falkirk defence. Now here's Lawrence, takes two defenders out of the play with that little move. There was no cover across quickly enough. Elliott to Oliver. Ferguson demands the ball. Strong challenge made by McLaughlin. Hart still picking up the loose balls at the moment. Johnston to Locke. Robertson's layoff, that's Lawrence. Well, Neil Ingalls was well off his goal line there, outside his 6-yard box. Had Lawrence chipped that, the goalkeeper would have been in trouble. Great little flick inside there by Robertson. There's Lawrence with a shot. Here's MacDonald. Now Johnston. That's for Mackenzie, who's well forward. Now MacDonald again. Oh, he did well to control that shot. It was easy in the end for Henry Smith, but Colin MacDonald doing very well indeed here, manoeuvring himself into a shooting position. This was awkward. Kept control and let the shot go. There's Cahoon. Good running into space for Cahoon. This should be the second, it is! And Falkirk's defence was carved wide open. It was that pass from Brian Hamilton which did all the damage. Cahoon coming in off the left and Neil Ingalls left without a hope. And the shot was drilled home. Look at the quality of the pass. The central defence is absolutely ripped apart. And John Cahoon finishes expertly. Ferguson slipped. Lawrence had then time to collect. Hearts, of course, can be very patient in the build-up. Well by McGowan and Cahoon. That's towards Robertson. Just out of reach for Lawrence. That was great play again from Robertson, leading the line very well indeed. Well, the second time John Robertson has opened up the Falkirk defence with a very good little flick with the heel. Here he goes again. You saw Lawrence making the move. Mackenzie clashing there with Hagan. Both players all right, fortunately. Good play again by Derek Ferguson. Headed away was by Berry. Totally uncompromising defender. This is Oliver again. Falkirk coming more into the match. That's awkward indeed. Dave McPherson winning the high ball, but Mackenzie returns it. There's MacDonald! A comedy of errors in the Hearts defence, and Falkirk are back in the match. Colin MacDonald savouring the moment. His first goal of the season. Just look at this now. Henry Smith come for this. Gary Locke doesn't see him. Slices the clearance. Dave McPherson's header's not very decisive. Played through a gap there for Colin MacDonald, who's played onside by David Winnie. And the game is back in the melting pot. Well, there was MacDonald, played onside by Winnie in the middle. That's Mackenzie. Now Kirk. Good tackle by Winnie. There's Weir. No one outside Kirk, except John Cahoon for Hearts. Hamilton. There's no offside here. Johnston breaks. A chance for the third. for Hearts. That's great goalkeeping. Terrific goalkeeping by Neil Ingalls. It was a very tight decision about offside there. There was little in this. The ball was passed there. It was extremely close. And perhaps Falkirk getting a break there because it might well have been offside. Well, that's the end of the first half action. It was a great start for Hearts in scoring terms, with Alan Lawrence getting his first goal for the club in just 13 minutes service from Alan Johnston. Then 7 minutes later, a great pass from Brian Hamilton, and John Cahoon made it 2. Hearts looked to be cruising, but then slackness and complacency crept in, and that allowed Colin MacDonald to snatch the first goal for Falkirk and set up a very good second half. It's Hearts 2, Falkirk 1. Scott Leach has come on for the start of the second half to replace David Hagan, who was injured in the midway point in that first half. So Hearts get it underway. Scott Leach involved straight away, and his arrival shouldn't really make much difference to the pattern of play set out by Jim Jeffries, because he can go straight into that left centre midfield role vacated by Hagan. In fact, it was a little bit unusual to see David Hagan in that position. Scott Leach much more familiar with these duties. And there's Johnston to MacDonald. Mackenzie at full stretch. David Elliott going in behind Maurice Johnston. He's away from Hamilton, but not from Locke. Well, I suspect we may see some alterations tactically here for the second half. And certainly I think we'll see Hearts a little more lively at the start of this period, because they really did drop out of things after a very good spell early in the match. And there's MacDonald in behind Berry. Looks for support, turns around. Still in his own. And bringing that tag out on Berry, but there really was no support at all offered for Colin MacDonald there. Maurice Johnston stayed out of the box looking for a pass, but little striker trying to do something on his own there. Sliced by Elliott, but reaching Mackenzie. That's a good challenge by McPherson. Now Cahoon. Lawrence ahead of him on the left. McGowan having to go there at full stretch, and McGowan making sure that Lawrence couldn't put pressure on Ingalls. Well, the Hearts supporters thought there was a little bit of foul play on Lawrence here, but McGowan, you see, inviting Ingalls out, telling him to come for the ball, just leaning into Lawrence. Now Ingalls being encouraged to send the long ball downfield by his management team. That's towards Maurice Johnston. That's the target. Good running inside. Elliott and MacDonald almost on the end of that. Well, a clear ploy that by Falkirk to hit Maurice Johnston with those long kickouts. Here's Gary Locke now with the throw. Breaking the ball falls kindly for Alan Johnston. Going outside McLaughlin. Cahoon's header! It's a great goal for Hearts! That was a terrific header by John Cahoon. Delightful wing play by Alan Johnston. Look at the way he skips outside. Sean McLaughlin. Two defenders looking at John Robertson there. Stevie kicked the marker for Cahoon, but look at the way he leaned in there. A beautifully angled header. And Hearts have a 2-goal cushion once again. Well, fine play here by Alan Johnston. He makes this look so easy. The way he weaves outside, sends over the cross. Cahoon looked to be struggling to get to that, but that's a fine header. Well, Falkirk really looking for something quickly to give them a boost for the final stages of the match. Here's Leach going through the gap. Inside to Lawrence. Good block made there by McGowan. This is Hamilton. Ferguson wrinkles the ball clear. That's good play, showing excellent close control again. McDonald's layoff. Here's Henderson. Berry's interception. Here's Elliott. Forward comes Weir. Return pass attempted by Johnston. Wanted too long on the ball. Terrible tackle by Johnston. Well, clearly born out of frustration. That was a shocking tackle. And the referee, Jim McCluskey, produces the yellow card. Well, he hasn't the happiest of afternoons, Johnston. Well, losing out here, this is what caused the problem. This is what made him so frustrated. He just given that away and then dived into that late and recklessly. Falkirk unable for the moment to get the ball down and pass it. They want to have Derek Ferguson involved as much as they can. It's proving to be very difficult at the moment. Roberts trying to guide that on for Alan Johnston. That's good play by Leach. Rule of confidence. There's no offside here. And Lawrence is taken out by the goalkeeper. It's a penalty kick. Now, will the referee give him a yellow or a red? And Lawrence was going wide. There was another defender there. Tony Parks, remember, the Falkirk goalkeeper was ordered off in the last Premier Division match, and referee McCluskey says yellow, and I think he has justification for that. You see this again. Now Lawrence is going away from goal there as he's brought down. There was another defender in close attendance, and I think referee McCluskey was right with the yellow card. But it could be goal number 4 for Hearts. Here's John Robertson. Indeed it is. Superbly taken by Robertson. There's no answer to that kind of penalty. So John Robertson opens his account for the season, thundering this past Neil Ingalls. Well, look at it on this angle here to see how little chance the keeper had. Supporters, an excellent voice here. They're enjoying this to the full. Lawrence has been very lively up front with John Robertson. Here's Johnston, Alan Johnston picking out Cahoon. Going for his hat-trick. Good block by the keeper. Well, John Cahoon has had a taste of goal. Only scored 3 times last season. He's got 2 already in this match. Checking inside, Nicky Henderson. That's a good effort, well saved. Jamieson asking some advice there from Henry Smith. He's giving it straight to John Clark. Here's Ferguson. Not a bad effort at all by Ferguson. Well, he's certainly shown enough this afternoon to suggest he'll be a very good acquisition for Falkirk. This wasn't intended for him, I don't think, but he took it well on the run, just couldn't keep the shot low enough. Robertson finding space for the cross. Lawrence does the dummy, and there's John Cahoon. Well, he hangs his head there. That would have been a real collector's item. Another header there by John Cahoon. A little smile there, but this is good play by Robertson, turning Joe McLaughlin. The dummy from Lawrence was troublesome. That was popped up by McGowan. Not far away. Robertson goes right. Now the support goes to the middle. Lawrence is there. Hamilton is there. Here's Lawrence. Well, disappointed. Perhaps could have controlled that in his chest. Leach pushed from the back by John Clark. Well, he'd certainly feel that. Winnie picking out Cahoon in the end. There's no offside as Hamilton breaks through on midfield. The angle is tight, and it goes for a goal kick. Well, John Robertson was at great pace to stay onside there, allowing Brian Hamilton to break through the Falkirk defensive line, which he did very intelligently. No question of offside there. McPherson breaking. Alan Johnston now can show some of that dazzling footwork. Oh, it's delightful stuff. There's no offside here. Robertson hanging back carefully. Elliott putting him under pressure. The last touch was by Robertson. Well, Robertson wants to argue that with Mike McCurry, the linesman. Why, I can't think. In the last minute of the match, 4-1 up. That's Hamilton. And the final whistle goes. It's been a totally convincing Hearts performance. Their supporters have enjoyed that. Jim Jeffries will clearly have a little bit of mixed feelings. He must be thinking about his own side now, but he will have some passing thoughts for Falkirk. John Cahoon scored 2 excellent goals and played very well wide on the left-hand side. He congratulates young Neil Ingalls, who couldn't be faulted for the goals lost by Falkirk. Hearts good winners. Falkirk looking a very poor side this afternoon. It's Hearts 4, Falkirk 1.
Jim, is that a match you're happy to get behind you?
Oh, definitely, for a lot of reasons, but you know, my main concern, I said before the game, was that I had to shut off what was going to happen out off the park and concentrate and trying to get a Hearts victory. So, you know, it's turned out it was a good performance for them. Started a wee bit near the end of the first half, but pleased for them. They've been working hard since they came in, and it was a good result.
You have changed the Hearts style. They played for years with 3 central defenders. You've changed that to a flat back 4. What's the thinking behind that?
Well, my view is that Hearts have struggled for the last 3 or 4 years. And it's a system that I feel that, OK, if I want to use it and there's time and a place to use it, then the Hearts can be comfortable with it. But for me, I want to get, you know, I'm known for my attacking style, and you know, I like to get 2 wingers into the 4-4-2 system. But people who can do their jobs and playing in that system, it excites, it gives you options, you get width, and then when people are coming forward like Gary Locke and David Winnie, when eventually gets a wee bit more fitness, then it's nightmare for defenders, and that way we can get options, and really it's stuff that the fans want to see. So we're comfortable with it. Big Dave McPherson's played that in 2 spells with Rangers, so there's no a problem. And as I say, instead of an extra man at the back, it allows an extra man forward. So that's good. We can get them forward and score goals. That's my philosophy, is that we score 4 today, it would have taken 5 to beat us. So you know, I'm quite happy with the way the boys have adapted to it.
There's been a few false dawns at this club in recent years, and we just hope we can finally do something that the sports can be proud of.
From a personal point of view, you've now played, I think, through the middle, wide right, and today wide left. How do you feel about these changes?
I'm enjoying it. I'm playing in forward areas, which and the sort of variations, something that I'm enjoying. Playing through the middle. I started off playing in the middle in Stirling Albion, and I've enjoyed playing there. And today wide left was a bit of a surprise to me, but I really enjoyed it, and the 2 goals obviously capped the performance.
We've lost in 3 games that I've watched. We've lost 11 goals, and I haven't seen one good manufactured goal. It's all about bad defensive play, and that's got to be sorted out.
Is there a factor of losing John Hughes, do you think, that might have made some difference there?
Well, they tell us that John Hughes was worth 2. Yes, he had a wee bit of steel in there, and he could slap 1 or 2 people about and get them to play, and that's where it counts, slapping about in the park. You can't go in that park and sort things out, and John Hughes could do that, yes, but John Hughes away, we forget about that, and I've got to look to sort that department out.
Is there a possibility you can back into the transfer market there?
There's always a possibility for me doing anything. I mean, as I say, I've only been in the job a month. I see a lot of problems. I've got to sort a lot of problems out, and I'm going to start right now and start working for the back and work for there and take it from there.
A word about Derek Ferguson's first game.
Well, I mean, Derek's only had 2 games, and you could still see that he's a great passer. The boy's got great vision, and he didn't get a great deal of help or movement off the rest of the team. I don't think there were hardly any movement. And there were no movement to shutting down case. I'm sure that Derek will be a big plus to to Falkirk after the turn of the year. I'm hoping to get a wee bit earlier, but at the turn of the year you'll see a better Derek Ferguson because he's not 100% tuned in.
Wish you well for the rest of the season, John.
I'll need it anyway, Jock. Thanks.
I suspect he made some noise in the Falkirk dressing room after that match. Gordon, Hearts 4-1 sounds like a very convincing victory. How convinced were you by the Hearts' performance?
I thought they were impressive. One good thing about Jim Jeffries is he sent his team out to play an attacking style of play. They only really had Brian Hamilton in the midfield, who can be considered a defensive type of player. The rest were all forward. So if MD deserves to score a few goals and win convincingly, it's Hearts playing the way they did today.
Eamon, the Yogi Hughes factor was mentioned in terms of Falkirk's showing there today. Also, of course, minus keeper Tony Parks. How significant were those two absentees?
Well, it's fairly obvious that Falkirk are leaking like a sieve. I mean, they've lost, you know, a couple of heavy defeats against Aberdeen and another 4 goals today. I think Parks was a loss, Clark's a loss, and Big Yogi Hughes, as mentioned, seems to be the main one that's missing. I mean, I think they'll have to sort out their back for their defensive situation because they do look vulnerable.
Gordon, the 2 John Cahoon goals demonstrate fairly well the sort of problems that Falkirk were having at the back today.
Yeah, they're tremendous problems. If we look at it here, I mean, there's John Cahoon there, there's his starting position, halfway line there, and it just builds up from there as he lays the ball back to David Winnie. And, you know, David Winnie just knocks a first-time ball in, John Robertson comes off, he's followed by Joe McLaughlin there, just lays it back there. Now, look, there's what we need to look for there. There is this massive space there. Why is that space there and why is it a danger? Because there's David Weir. He's gone out there to mark Alan Lawrence, which is totally out of position, really. The whole back four has lost its shape at that point. And as John Robertson knocks it back there, Brian Hamilton just has to knock the ball into that space. Who's onto it? John Cahoon. Straight through. Look at that. He could drive about 10 double-decker buses through there as he slams it in. So, shocking defending from Falkirk's point of view. The time he had there to finish underlines Falkirk's problems, Eamon.
It's great. The fact that John's playing the left-hand side made him come on at his right foot to finish that, which is good for John.
Here's the other one here, the second goal. There's Johnson now getting the ball. He's going at Joe McLaughlin again, wants to go on his right foot and does. Crosses it to the back post. Once again, the Falkirk defence aren't too bad this time. There's Stevie Kirk. He's come in there, and there's John Cahoon. He's marking him at the back post. A little bit of ball watch. He's looking towards the ball. He's lost Cahoon there. And as that cross arrives at the back post, Cahoon gets round the front of him. It's a good header, to be fair, but bad defending. Stevie Kirk really was in a great position to go and head that clear.
And Alan Johnson's skill's phenomenal here. I've seen him do this 1,000 times. He just drops his shoulder past Joe McLaughlin as if he's not there. And Stevie Kirk's really kicking himself because he should have attacked that ball earlier. And really, John Cahoon coming in and scoring.